Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to For StarCraft 2 Strategy. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Zerg strategy. Now in this particular strategy replay, our Zerg player is Core, and our Terran opponent is Blendio. We're going to go right into Core Vision here. So this is a strategy, again this is a Zerg strategy taken from the Diamond League. And what we're going to be looking at today is going for fast Mutalisks. This is going to be a good build order if you want to try out going for some fast Mutalisks in some of your games. Now obviously that speedling into Mutalisk build is pretty popular, but again in this particular build this is a pretty safe strategy. We're not going all in straight to Mutalisks with no defensive structures or buildings early on, but we are going to be looking to get Mutalisks pretty quick. We're also going to be looking to play off of one base. So if you play a Zerg and if you are more comfortable with one base play, this might be a strategy you want to try. So again, going for a quick Mutalisk is going to put us in a few different scenarios, one of which being that, again, with any strategy that you intend on teching up quickly with, you're going to be susceptible to early pressure. Because of this, we want to make sure we play somewhat defensively, that we're not careless with our beginning units, with the Zerglings that we initially start out with, and that we even build some defensive structures. And what we're going to see is that we end up placing some spine crawlers right here at the beginning of our base, and we also use queens as early game defense to fend off whatever our opponent may throw at us. So taking a look over here, we do have the scouting with our overlord. We did end up getting lucky, and our opponent ended up right next to us in this particular replay. So we're going to be able to get a nice early scout of precisely what he's doing. We see the command center there, pretty standard. Refinery, obviously it's standard. All Terran players start with a command center. Good observation, Force. Refinery going down, as well as his barracks. We can expect to see some sort of teching up, even if it's just two marauders, because of that earlier refinery. We don't expect to see mass marines or anything silly like that, which typically you don't expect anyways. Now as far as our build order, what we went with was that 13 Extractor followed by the 13 Pool. Getting that faster Extractor is going to allow us to research that speedling upgrade immediately. So again, we're not teching straight into Lair because without speedlings early in the game, we're going to be a little susceptible. We obviously don't want to waste Vespian on pumping out tons of roaches. So we are going to be a little susceptible to early game pressure without speedlings, so we do want to make sure that we're at least somewhat secure in the sense that we have a sizable enough army with the proper upgrades that we're going to be able to defend off early aggression. Getting those speedlings is going to be a good idea. So with our first 100 Vespian, we do start researching that Metabolic Boost, and we did do that at 17 supply. Now right before that at 15 supply, we of course started getting our queen. You pretty much always want to get that queen as soon as you can, as soon as that spawning pool comes up. The spawn larva, plus their defensive capabilities and the fact that they can help fend off early Hellion or Reaper pressure, also with the fact that their spew larva, this very beneficial unit, always get that as quickly as possible. There's really not much of a reason not to. So taking a look back up here, we haven't got any additional scouting information since our Overlord scouted out. We did, of course, want to move the Overlord out before that first Marine came out. There's no reason to unnecessarily lose that Overlord due to a Marine. Now, with our next 100 Vespian, we did start researching that Lair. We did that at 21 supply, and we immediately at 22 supply followed that up with the second Extractor. Being that we're going for fast Mutalisks, we are going to need a lot of gas, so we're saving up all of our gas at this point for when we can start building Mutalisks. We moved up a little bit, trying to poke out, basically trying to see what our opponent's doing. We're going to be pulling our Zerglings in right here. We do see a couple Marines, and that's about it. We also see this factory here. So the barracks that was there was replaced. We see a factory with a reactor. Right now, we can expect early game Hellions. That's basically what you're going to be seeing. In fact, that's all you can be seeing out of a factory with a reactor on it, because Hellions are going to be the only unit that can come out of that. So seeing a factory with a reactor on it, you need to expect some early game Hellions, and you need to prepare for that defensively. Now we do have these Zerglings right here, and that speed upgrade did just finish, so that's going to be a good way to fend off those Hellions. As long as we can get a surround on them, we should be able to take them out pretty quickly. We're also going to be looking to get a second queen as well, and dropping some spine crawlers at the front of our base. So that second queen has started building. Also building our Spire right here, and a quick little note, putting it in this proxy position over here, now that you have this layer, you can spew creep with your overlords. So go ahead and find a position in like one of the corners of your base, someplace that's not likely to be scanned from your Terran opponent. Typically when a Terran player scans your base, they're going to scan right over your main patch, because that is where most Zerg players tend to put their tech, obviously because you need to put all of your buildings on creep. But if you're able to get a nice position in the corner of your base where you can spew creep with one of your overlords, go ahead and drop your building right there. It's going to make them less likely to be aware of what you're doing with a scan that they end up throwing out. So in the fact that we saw this factory with this reactor and we can assume early game Hellion pressure, again, we went ahead, we got that second queen, we also got these 2 spine crawlers here. A good thing to note too is a lot of times a strong build for Terran players, something that you may see a lot, is fast Hellion harassment of your mineral lines and your light units, such as your Zerglings, followed up with a Banshee tech switch. That's something that you see quite often. Getting this second queen is going to help you against any Banshees you may see as well. Basically, you can attack the Banshees from the ground, and then you can use the transfuse ability to keep your queens alive. So as you can see, he's trying to move up here. We're going to pull up our queens, block off this ramp, preventing them from coming in. Between the queens poking at them, as well as these spine crawlers, it's going to do a great job of fending off that Hellion pressure. As you can see, we do get a scan on top of our base, so he did miss the Spire tech. Unfortunately, the second his scan came down, of course, so did our Mutalisks pop up. But we're going to be pushing out with these Mutalisks right now and seeing what we can do for damage. Now, in this particular game, the Terran player wasn't properly prepared for Mutalisk tech. Now, because of this, he ends up leaving the game because he just doesn't have enough to fend off this mass amount of Mutalisks. A lot of times when you push in with a build like this, you should expect more Marines. You may even expect a missile turret or two. Don't think because of that the strategy is useless. Going for this build, you're still going to be able to harass. You can move in, pick off units, and move out when he comes with reinforcements, and then move in and hit him from another angle, and just be basically a huge pain in the butt. And from that point, you can also feel free to expand. As you can see, we're sitting on just over 300 minerals. Right now would be a perfect time to expand. Going with this harassment, it's going to force him into his base. Again, even if he hadn't left here, even if he continued with this Viking production and pumped out some Marines, we still would have been able to keep him pretty contained for a while, because it's going to be a while before he can actually kill these Mutalisks. So yeah, I mean, just because your opponent doesn't die or leave right away, this is still going to be a strong build. Those fast speedlings are going to help you fend off early aggression, also allowing you to put pressure on if they end up leaving their front undefended. And teching up to these quick Mutalisks are going to allow you to put even more pressure on your opponent, allowing you to freely expand. So again, guys, this has been 4 StarCraft 2 strategies. If you guys like our videos and you like what you see here, please do go ahead and subscribe to our channel. And before I forget, I'm going to go over that build order real quick one more time. Started off with that 13 Extractor and followed it up with a 13 spawning pool. Right when the spawning pool came out at 15 supply, we got our queen. Then at 17 supply, at our first 100 Vespian gas, we started researching Metabolic Boost. We got our Lair at 21 supply. We followed that up immediately at 22 with our second Extractor, because again, we do need a lot of gas for this build. Then at 26 supply, we got a second queen, because we did see that those fast Hellions were likely to be coming. We also dropped a few spine crawlers at the front of our base, using those queens in conjunction with the spine crawlers to fend off that early push. And then at 27 supply, in this nice proxy position, utilizing that spew creep ability from our overlords, we went ahead and we dropped our Spire. As soon as that came up, pushed out with those Mutalisks, and as you can see in this particular replay, the Terran player wasn't prepared, so they actually just left the game. So yeah, guys, once more, this has been 4 StarCraft 2 strategy. If you like our videos and you like what we're doing here, please do go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Keep watching and keep owning, guys. Now, taking a look here, we are pushing out with these roaches, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is how we're going to be able to push through our opponent's frontal wall, due to these fast roaches, followed up with these speedlings that are going to be coming behind shortly thereafter. Now, you may say, well, what if he had hit that first force field and you weren't able to go straight in?